Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. How are you doing today? Welcome to the path of peace. Have you ever wondered how the Quran we hold in our hands today, in its pure form, without a single alteration, has been preserved for over 1,400 years? Have you ever thought about the men and women who sacrificed everything so that the words of Allah would reach us exactly as they were revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him? Today, we are going to travel back in time to one of the most decisive and heartbreaking battles in Islamic history, the Battle of Yamama. This was not just a military confrontation, but a turning point in the preservation of the Quran. It was a battle soaked in blood and sacrifice, yet through it, Allah safeguarded His divine words until the end of time. After the passing of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, the Muslim Ummah faced a storm of challenges. This was a time of deep grief. The companions who had lived with the Prophet prayed behind him, learned directly from him, and fought by his side were now faced with the reality that the Messenger of Allah had left this world. But even in the midst of this grief, Islam stood firm. Abu Bakr As-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, was chosen as the first caliph. He was a man of immense faith, wisdom, and courage. Yet, his leadership began during one of the most turbulent periods in early Islamic history. Across Arabia, tribes began to break away. Some refused to pay zakat, others abandoned Islam altogether, and some were led astray by false prophets who claimed revelation. Among the most dangerous of these false claimants was Musaylima al-Khattab, known as Musaylima the Liar. His rebellion and false claims would lead to one of the bloodiest battles in Islamic history, the Battle of Yamama. And it was in this very battle that hundreds of Huffaz, those who had memorized the Quran, gave their lives, which in turn led to the historic decision to compile the Quran into one written volume. The rise of Musaylima al-Khattab. Musaylima came from the tribe of Banu Hanifa, one of the strongest tribes in Central Arabia. During the Prophet's lifetime, Musaylima had once come to Medina pretending to accept Islam. He later wrote to Prophet Muhammad claiming prophethood for himself and even suggesting a power sharing of Arabia. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, immediately exposed him as a liar and false prophet. In his letter, Prophet Muhammad addressed him directly as Musaylima al-Khattab and Musaylima the Liar. Despite being rejected, Musaylima gathered a large following in Yamama, boasting tens of thousands of warriors. His claim to prophethood was a direct attack on Islam because it denied the finality of the Prophet Muhammad. When Prophet Muhammad passed away, Musaylima saw an opportunity to expand his rebellion. Many tribes, already shaken by the loss of the Prophet, were vulnerable. Some abandoned Islam, others hesitated. Musaylima grew bolder and prepared for war. The call of Abu Bakr As-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him. As caliph, Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, was now faced with immense responsibility. Arabia was in chaos. Rebellions were spreading. But Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, was firm like a mountain. His famous words still echo in history. By Allah, if they withhold even a rope they used to give in zakat to the Messenger of Allah, I will fight them for it. He refused to allow the pillars of Islam to be broken. And when the news of Musaylima's rebellion reached him, he knew this was not just a tribal uprising, it was a threat to the very faith itself. Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, dispatched the Muslim armies under the command of Khalid ibn al-Walid, may Allah be pleased with him, the sword of Allah, to confront Musaylima in Yamama. The battle begins. The Muslim army, numbering around 12,000, marched under Khalid ibn al-Walid, may Allah be pleased with him. Many companions joined this expedition. Among them were great warriors and Huffaz of the Quran. On the other side stood Musaylima's army of nearly 40,000. He had fortified himself in Yamama, preparing for a massive showdown. When the two forces met, the fighting was brutal. At first, the Muslims faced severe setbacks. Musaylima's army pushed them back. The battlefield turned into chaos. Many companions were martyred, and the Muslim ranks began to waver. But Khalid ibn al-Walid, may Allah be pleased with him, with his brilliant leadership, rallied the Muslims. He reorganized them into smaller groups, assigning commanders and reigniting their spirit with words of courage and faith. The turning point, the Garden of Death. The climax of the battle took place in a walled garden known as Hadakat al-Maut, the Garden of Death. Musaylima and his soldiers retreated into it, barricading themselves inside. The Muslims charged, scaling the walls and breaking through the gates. Inside the garden, the fighting was so fierce that the ground was soaked with blood. Companion after companion fell as a martyr. Among them were some of the greatest Huffaz of the Quran. Finally, in a moment that would change history, Washi ibn Harb, may Allah be pleased with him, the same man who had once killed Hamza, may Allah be pleased with him, in Uhud before accepting Islam, now struck down Musaylima with his spear. Abu Dujana, may Allah be pleased with him, and others joined in, finishing him off. Musaylima the Liar was dead. The false prophet's claim collapsed. The Muslims emerged victorious, but the cost was devastating. Around 1,200 Muslims were martyred, and nearly 700 of them were Huffaz of the Quran. The aftermath, a great loss, a greater wisdom. When news of the battle reached Medina, Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, was deeply alarmed. The Ummah had lost hundreds of its Huffaz in one day. If such losses continued, parts of the Quran preserved only in memory might risk being forgotten. Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, went to Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, with a suggestion: the Quran must be compiled into a single book, so it could never be lost. At first, Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, hesitated. He feared doing something that Prophet Muhammad had not done during his lifetime. But Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, persisted, reminding him that this was not an innovation in religion, it was a protection of revelation. Finally, Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, agreed. He appointed Zayd ibn Thabit, may Allah be pleased with him, who had served as a scribe of revelation during the Prophet's time, to lead this monumental task. Zayd, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "By Allah, if they had tasked me with moving a mountain, it would not have been harder for me than compiling the Quran." With utmost care, he gathered the Quran from written parchments, bones, palm leaves, and the hearts of the Huffaz who had survived. He cross-verified every verse with multiple sources, ensuring absolute precision. This was the first official compilation of the Quran, the Mushaf. The lessons of Yamama. The Battle of Yamama was not just about defeating Musaylima. It was about safeguarding the faith. The companions' sacrifices became the reason why the Quran remains unaltered to this day. From this story we learn: the Quran is protected by Allah. The loss of so many Huffaz led to the historic compilation. Allah's plan ensured his book would never be lost. Sacrifice for faith. The companions gave their lives not for wealth or land, but so the words of Allah could live on. Leadership with wisdom. Abu Bakr's firmness, Umar's foresight, Khalid's strategy, and Zayd's diligence all worked together to preserve Islam. Our responsibility. The companions carried the Quran with their blood. What excuse do we have today if we neglect reciting it, understanding it, or living by it? The Battle of Yamama stands as a reminder that the preservation of the Quran came through the sacrifices of the best generation. Every time we open the Quran, we should remember the companions who died so its words could reach us unchanged. This is why Allah tells us in the Quran, "Indeed, it is we who sent down the Quran, and indeed, we will be its guardian." Surah Al-Hayr 15-9. The promise of Allah was fulfilled at Yamama and continues to be fulfilled today. So, my dear brothers and sisters, let us honor their sacrifice. Let us not just recite the Quran, but live by it. Let us pass it on to our children, just as the companions passed it on to us. May Allah grant the martyrs of Yamama the highest rank in paradise. May He bless Abu Bakr, Umar, Zayd, Khalid, Washi, and all the companions. May Allah be pleased with them all. And may He make us people of the Quran, those who recite it, memorize it, live it, and spread its message to the world. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more Islamic content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.